critical race theory isn't the only problem. In fact, anti-racism is a subgroup of critical race theory. Self-proclaimed anti-racists use methods of critical race theory to substantiate their points. I say this because there seems to be a lack of understanding from educators and BLM allies who seem to think that anti-racism is a solution for ending racism. No, boo-boo, anti-racism simply redirects the racism, and we can see that by looking at a few quotes from Dr. Ibram Kendi's book, How to Be an Anti-Racist. Here's the first one. There is no neutrality in the racism struggle. One either allows racial inequities to persevere as a racist or confronts racial inequities as an anti-racist. There is not an in-between safe space of not racist. The claim of not racist neutrality is a mask for racism. So what you're saying is if I randomly were to point at a white person and call them a racist with no proof, and they responded by telling me that's not true, that somehow confirms that they are in fact racist? Are you fucking kidding me? Not only is this nonsensical garbage, it also proves just how much perfection these types of folks demand. There will always be individuals who say things intentionally or unintentionally to hurt your feelings. Racist or not, it's called life. Civil rights activists fought to give Black people the same rights as everyone else in America, so I find it tone deaf that we have a generation of people complaining about microaggressions. And this idea that a person isn't allowed to defend themselves after being accused of something so heinous is a cultish mindset that will inevitably discriminate against a specific group of people. Yes, that's a grand idea. Manufacturing division has always worked great in history. Moving on, here's another painful quote from Kendi's book. The only remedy to racist discrimination is anti-racist discrimination. The only remedy of past discrimination is present discrimination. So you're telling me that it's okay for me to discriminate as long as you're doing it for what you think is a good cause. That's what you're saying. Well, if that's the case, since a lot of people seem to think that BLM is a legitimately good cause, I like to discriminate against everyone who blindly advocates for the Marxist Trojan horse. Would that be okay? No! Of course it's not, because conversation is the only thing stopping us from coming up with actual solutions. So as much as it irritates me to know how many people fell for the movement because they didn't do their research, I understand that the past is immutable, unlike Dr. Kendi, who apparently thinks that we can fix the past by causing more problems in the present. Does that honestly sound coherent to you? And if educators claim to care about the advancement of Black people, then they shouldn't promote education that encourages their students to believe that their skin color summarizes their life experience, or that a Black kid will forever be viewed as a second-class citizen. That's a feeling. That's not something rooted in factual evidence. It's almost like a teenager studying for an exam, but instead of their parents wishing them luck, they say, "Why bother? You probably won't pass anyway." Well, with that mindset, why bother trying at all? I have seen how this type of rhetoric holds people back. I have seen what it can do to stifle someone's perseverance. I know how much it can destroy someone's confidence to believe that all of their downfalls are the result of racial discrimination. And it blows my mind that we have educators pushing this delusion to their students and thinking that they're helping. Let me take you out of your safe space for just a second and remind you that genocide is something that's very real and still exists to this day. And you don't have to go very far in history to see that nothing positive has ever come from cultivating a them versus us mindset. If you truly want to change the world for the better, we have to start with ourselves, and that involves thinking for ourselves and not allowing the government, the media, or victim vendors to do the thinking for you. If you enjoyed